21 Code of Federal Regulations, section 50.23 and 24, it is illegal to make anybody participate in an experimental program using coercion. That is, in fact, how in U.S. law we actually embraced in U.S. law the Nuremberg Code. So coercion is illegal, and we need to call it coercion. We don't want to call it leverage. We don't want to call it pressure. We want to call it the illegal act that it is. It's coercion. And that becomes important because under 18 U.S. Code, section 2331, and then subsection 802, inside of the definition of domestic terrorism is any time a U.S. citizen or a government in the U.S. is forced to do something that it would not otherwise do. That's also not only coercion, but domestic terrorism. Now, this conversation and every other conversation, I encourage people to, in fact, take those two laws, and when they are met with somebody telling them they're supposed to get the shot, actually ask the person and record this. Use your phone, use a recording device, record the conversation, and ask if they are in fact violating 21 Code of Federal Regulations, section 50.23 and 24. Are you interested in doing a civil violation of the law? And if they say yes, they're cool with that, then say, are you willing to violate 18 U.S. Code section 2331, which says that it is illegal to coerce a population, and that is a felony, and the felony has a 99-year prison term with it.
Wow.
And so here's the problem. We need to arm ourselves as a big community to not only do what we've done, and by the way, kudos to everyone who has done the resistance up until now. But now we have to arm ourselves with the very weapons they're using and throw them back. I always say the metaphor for me is if somebody throws a hand grenade at you, pick it up, pull the pin out, and throw it back. They've given you a hand grenade, use it. What we need to be doing is we need to be informing ourselves, and most recently, Patrick, and this will be a punchline I get to at the end, but I just put all of the felony statutes and all of the felony evidence into a single document that everybody can use, everybody can reference, and just go to your employer, to your local grocery store, to your local theater, to your local school board, whatever it is, just say, hey, which one of these felonies do you want to be implicated in? Because all of them carry 99-year prison terms and up to $100 million fine. So, and that's $100 million fine for an institution. So it's actually a big deterrent. And as we have been manipulated and coerced as a population, we now need to actually take the offensive position and say, stand up, be informed, and provide the 8 felony counts that you can ask any employer, any business, anybody who's trying to push the mandate, which one of these felonies do you want to now be liable for?
That's brilliant. And I like the idea of going on the offense. You know, I mentioned earlier, I think our last line of defense, or one of our last line of defense, are going to be the courts. You know, we got to get away from the executive branch. You know, we're very dysfunctional in our legislative branch. But the courts, you know, shooting down the mandate, you know, the Biden mandates, et cetera, I think they are our last line of defense. I'm always, you see me smile or kind of chuckle as you're quoting line and verse on these statutes. You know, it's like how you have all this stuff in your brain is amazing to me. Is there a way that people can get access to the documents you described?
Well, there you go. I feel like I just entrapped you because I told you there is a thing. It turns out if you go to either of my websites, fullyliveacademy.com, that's Fully Live Academy, all one word, fullyliveacademy.com, or davidmartin.world. If you go to either of those two and click on the Attorney General link, what you will get is actually the criminal indictment template, which has all 8 felony counts that are actually listed right there. And you can download those, as I encouraged people to do yesterday. You can print them off. You can send them certified mail to your U.S. attorneys, to attorneys general in your state, to elected officials in your state, to school boards, to anybody who's doing a mandate, and say, you are now on notice of felony violations. And guess what? Like you just said, the courts are, in fact, going to ultimately deal with this issue, And if you have gathered evidence in your own coercion, in your own manipulation of the things that have been foisted upon you, you will actually be part of the class that one day recovers those damages. So I say stand firm, inform yourself, get evidence, and take action.
I love it. And